over the last 24 hours, we saw enormous volatility. Now, look at this and decide for yourself. There will be a lot of different ideas in the market suggesting that there was a huge buying power. Agreed. Now, look at this. The price action showed you it would like to go to the downside. And then buyers did come up. They bought all those units and the price came back about $3. Let's look back at some of these events where you had a long move to the upside and a huge wick to the downside. Not only in 2024 we saw that, we go back early 2024, then we go back in time, and then we get to see, okay, 2021 we saw that. And what was that? This is the question. 2020 we saw that. What was the question? Now look at those candles and answer this honestly. Was that a similar candle? A huge wick to the downside? And such a candle, after you run to the upside, is known as hanging man. And it's called that for a reason. Now we come back. When you get enormous volatility to the upside and then to the downside, you know what is coming after that. Now let's talk about it. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. When you do look at XRP and Bitcoin and compare them, yeah, you do have some difference. I would like to argue, watch this. This is Bitcoin on a 12-hour. We'll also put XRP on a 12-hour. Now look at this. XRP in that 12-hour created a bullish candle. Yeah, that's an engulfing candle, bullish one. Now we go look at Bitcoin. It failed to do that. It's an inside candle. It did not engulf or erase the previous bearish candle completely. If it was a situation like this, now we know, okay, bulls are in control. So you come back down and then burst. Fine. Now go back in XRP terminology and see. When you're below the moving average and you do such a candle, bullish engulfing candle, yes, you're forming a bottom, that is true. But then you eventually come back down to retest that to ensure that is the bottom. How does a corrective cycle start? That bottom fails to hold and profit taking and sellers jump in together. The price slows down. Now, for this, you need to understand what a macro chart is looking like right now. And that answers a lot of questions. What questions does the chart answer to you right now? I know everyone else in the market would give you the higher targets because you have your portfolio at a decent number. Everyone can hype it up. You will be there. No, I won't do that. I would say what I see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a fool. But the chart pattern which you can see, here's a hanging man. Here, again, it's a hanging man just after a hammer. Now, the problem is, this is not yet a confirmed candle. That's a weekly candle, and it will only be confirmed next Monday morning here in India. Fine? So it's a Sunday Eve for those who are in the US, and you guys know the time. Now, on that front, if you do confirm this candle in this region, will you call that a buying power? Or will you call that a shift in buying power? Because you were going up, 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 and now you're trying to push down. So someone sold or shorted the market. That's why the price came back down to 2.63. Now, at that 2.63, how did the price react? That is a huge question, because when you zoom in onto a daily, you'll see, okay, that support held, which is a good story. Yeah, that is an exciting story. Now, the question of what direction you are looking at comes in on a macro, and then obviously you can look at it on a micro. Now, when you go on a micro, this is where the answers comes in. You saw that this range in XRP was strong. It was holding for a long time. Yeah. Last 10 days, we held that range as a support. You bounced off of that each and every time. Now, when you break that to the downside and retest it, is this the ABC? Is this the 1, 2, 3 direction now? On an hourly, not on a macro, on a micro. But is that the direction? Now, why am I asking you that question? Because I want you to answer this. When you do see this as a support, what does that mean? Buyers are coming in and buying all those units which are sold into the market. They absorb every teeny tiny bit of the supply. Price goes back up. What happened here? They failed and they moved out. That is this long wick. They moved out. Now, when you're going back up and you're attracting sellers here, not buyers, sellers there, what do you see? Now, sellers who were confident enough to short the market at this point are also coming back into the market, thinking that now is a resistance. Fine. Say you're a trend-based guy. You plot a trend line like this. What do you see? Whoa, you came back up to test this and you're getting rejected. Now remember the channel we plotted before. We kind of hit almost exactly that range as a support. Perfect. This is why I was saying, guys, watch. There is a probability we may drop 15%. And that 15% drop in XRP makes it a 22% drop from the local highs. A lot of people were not happy to take the profits in this region. I call it in this region, 1.27, 1.3, 1.35. Not everyone liked that call. But right now, you see that had some justice in it. Now, that's an hourly. It's not what you should abide by. You have to zoom out. Completely agree on that front. This is a 4-hour chart, which is still a short-term chart. I'm trying to show you a trend line formation. On a micro, you have this as a trend line, which is good. So I would honestly like to see the price retesting this range, coming back up. And if it gives you an opportunity, and it fakes out, consider that. Consider that. If you haven't taken profits in those regions before, consider that. It is, mandatory in my opinion. Maybe I'm completely foolish here. But understand, there were a lot of people at 3.3 saying you're out of touch because you're focusing on the RSI. But let me ask you this. What does the RSI show you? And why is that important? I mean, that is really, really important. Now, why am I saying that? Because I believe whenever I've seen historically the RSI dropping below the 70, the price does tell you I'm about to drop. Now that's on a 3-day. Now we step back on a weekly and you get to see this. You're still above this, you're floating above. That's actually a very good thing to see. But at the end of the day, what are you looking at? I'm remaining there on a weekly. I remain there on a monthly. So the monthly does tell you bulls are still in. The macro big guys who are in for next 5-10 years, not for this cycle. Yeah, they're still in. They're cool. But the question is, then you enter into weekly. That's where you get whales. Meaning the cyclical guys who buy at the bottom, ride it to the local upside, sell it there and buy back. So now the price action shows you the price is forming a local top and retesting the previous region. The first region was 230% above the moving average, and the next one is up here, 115. Go back in each of these local tops and ask what you saw. 160% above the moving average. Okay, that was not bad. That was not bad. What is this? 190% above the moving average. So what the hell did we see here? 232%. Do you think that is too low? Now come back inside the cycle. Look at whatever we've seen before. So you kind of get an idea about what the asset is doing. Fine, but the general market matters a lot more. Don't you think so? If not, let me ask you this. This is total crypto market. This was the local top and the price was up 49% above from the 21 moving average on a weekly chart. Now let's plot this at the local high. That was 48. That's close, not perfect for sure, but close. Now, the next one up here, 35%. Okay, fine. So you get to see that the price action is saying around 30 to 40 or 50%. I'm slowing down. Last two was close to 30, 35. This one is 49 and 48. So we haven't actually seen something like this yet. The local top to the bottom formation, the C leg, that has to form. What is that? The A, the B, the C. Can we do that? If we do and form a bottom, I'm happy to go back in with all of those profits which I've removed from the market in terms of XRP, in terms of XLM, HBAR, XDC, the payments asset. I love them. But once the Bitcoin dropped this and say, I'm forming a bottom, I like it. I like it. If the Bitcoin actually come down there and say, I'm making a bottom, I would like to bounce, and I would go back up to retest this at least, also going to go crazy to the upside. I believe that. But point is, at this point, right now, we don't know it's going to get supported there or not. The total crypto market is close to $4 trillion and we're taking huge resistance there. Someone is selling in. Total crypto market, look at the volume. Now, that volume should take your eyes. That weekly volume showed you there was enormous buying potential. But look at the price action there. Did you see enormous buying going up? It does not. I mean, look at this. You had a lot of buying here. And what? Decent, very decent buying candle. Okay? Then, when you saw increasing buying action and decreasing in volume, increasing buying action, and in price, decreasing buying action, you know it's shifting. Then we started shifting. So what are we looking at here? That's total crypto market. Now pick up the altcoin market on a weekly itself. You have selling volume, but the price didn't drop. And I'm like, whoa, 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 that's good. Which means at next bottom, wherever we form that, it is going to be an attractive region to buy this asset. We'll be looking for what? Bullish divergence across the spectrum. Because on a 3-day, you're looking at the trend line in the RSI. This is your trend line. If you break that to the downside, it won't sound good. Now, why does that look important to you? Say you look at the RSI. This is your trend line. That is your trend line. When you break that trend line, what happens? That showed you. Now, put that line there and ask yourself, what did that show you? Now you see that in the price and you know, okay, something similar is coming. Now go back in history. Again, go back in history. Each and every time, don't trust your brains, but trust the market. You broke this. Yeah? We'll put a horizontal and a vertical line there. The horizontal line is to show at what level the RSI broke to the downside. And the vertical line here is to show when you broke to the downside. Watch what the price action did and the RSI did. RSI showed you I'm breaking to the downside 3 days before the actual drop came in. I trust the RSI. Otherwise, the market would slap me. I mean, humans, we learn the hard way and I don't want to learn that again. I had enough. Yeah, 2017, 2021, fine. Now, if the market is saying I'm breaking to the downside here, I wouldn't go against it. So that's total 3. Now, come back, look at different markets. This is a monthly on Bank Nifty of India. Does that look promising to you? At least not for me. Look at the monthly. It's coming down. It's coming down. Now we go look at the quarterly. That's banks in a country. Yeah. Now, why is that happening? Dollar was strong. Yeah. It kind of ruined that currency to the upside. But yeah, unlike many others, they held for sure, but it's still at the all-time highs. So the banks does have trouble. They can't cut the rates. The central bank, if they cut the rate, what happens? It goes to 90, 100 like that. So they are holding on with the higher interest rates. But nothing about this. Bitcoin and crypto is all that matters for us. And we're looking at that and saying, okay, there was a long wick to the downside. Someone wanted to sell. Now, this is not coming in after the price was dropping for few days. Yeah, this is coming still at the resistance level. That is what a lot of people miss. When you get that at a support, yeah, that's buying activity. When you get that at a resistance, no, it's not. That's sellers trying to enter and push the market to the downside. They may fail for the first time, but when they come back in, they push it down, down, down. How do you understand that? Lower lows and lower highs. You will have to follow the market on a 4-hour or a 2-hour chart to see if we are doing that. Because for the chart to do that on a daily, you have to first do that on a 4-hour. So first you see, are we doing that? Yeah, it kind of makes sense to say, okay, we already put in a lower low. Now if we make a lower high and another lower low, 4-hour is saying, yeah, definitely I'm trending lower. Fine. Now you go down. You go down on a 12-hour. And it's saying like, I was putting in lower lows, but then I came back up to put a higher high. Now, how does that look? Be honest with yourself. Does it actually look like the ABC formation to the upside? If it does, the A is here, the B is here, the C is here. What are you looking for? Yeah? That is the trouble. The 1, the 2, the 3. That literally is the trouble. If we can get supported near that macro range, boom, that's good. You finish this day and you start the ABC, then you go back. Fine, if that happens. But if we break that trend line, the story is different. The climax would look a lot more different than what we are watching now. So we go back onto the Bitcoin dominant side of the equation. I would really like to see the Bitcoin dominance taking this as a resistance and then dropping like this, which means Bitcoin price is going down, but still the Bitcoin dominance is going down. Alts are doing better. That's a good story. But still, if Bitcoin is dropping 30%, do you think most of the alts are going to drop 10, 20% at least? I think so. If that's true, from here, think about all these assets. If they drop another 20%, what would that look like in the price action? You're coming close to $2.2 in XRP. If you drop 30%, if you drop 20, it's like 2.37, $2.4. That still makes a decent drop all the way from the top. Yeah, think about it. What if we are making a bottom? What if we are not? So you literally will have to go onto a short-term chart to see if the range is being extended. You had the buying region. This is all that you have to look at. Now, think about this. This was your support. Now, that's acting as a resistance. If you get rejected, you see this. So with that, if you want further updates about when I'm taking profits, when you should be thinking about that, be a part of the Scientific Investor family, understand what's happening. And if you think you received value from this video, smash that like button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.